Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the week that was. Austin the Stash here, Melanie Wilkinson right there. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. I'm glad that we're back with more news from the week that was.
It never stops.
It never stops.
No.
And I keep looking on justmelaniew.com and there's a new story seemingly every day.
Well, actually, I've been averaging about 9 to 10.
Jeez.
Every day, like the last 2 weeks.
Just cranking them out.
People are getting, January is the time when you start gearing up for the new year.
Sure.
A lot of new projects, a lot of new things. But, remember after the first of the year, I said, this is my week of stats.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, those are kind of continuing a little bit because we're gonna open with that.
Yeah.
Little dejecting, is that a word? Dejecting?
Sure.
I should know if that's a word or not, seeing how
Google's
all
here
I do
for a
is
reason.
write all day long. But
people say I should speak correctly, and I definitely don't do that.
although you speak constantly,
All
that's
the time.
what you do.
My wife hates it. I even talk in my sleep.
You do?
Oh, it's awful. It really is. There are times where I'm talking in my sleep.
Are
and
you
my wife
DJing or are you?
I am not DJing. I have not had very many DJ dreams.
Okay, well that's a plus.
That's a plus, but
Yeah. Well, okay. So back to our statistics.
Yes. Yeah.
The York County Attorney's Office is currently putting together all their stats for 2024, and of course, it all has to deal with court cases and caseloads and that type of thing. They aren't done. They'll be reporting their felony caseloads next Tuesday when the county commissioners meet.
Okay.
Those are going to be really high, and the only reason I know that is because the case numbers, everything is CR 24 dash.
Sure. Whatever.
Well, by the end of the year, the numbers were up to about 200. So that's a lot of adult felony cases that have been filed and continue to go through the system. What they did provide were the numbers for juvenile court. Now, I don't cover juvenile court because of the obvious. They're juveniles.
Right.
Identities can't be talked about. It's not even allowable to do that, and there would be no reason to. But these figures are really interesting. Now, back in the day, juvenile court was always considered that's where kids go to court when they get into trouble.
Right.
And it still is. Mm-hmm. Now, they say that on that, where the kids are actually the perpetrators. Now, Chris Johnson, he's our chief deputy county attorney, said that those cases would have been up 30% last year, except for we have a very good juvenile diversion program here in York County. So what that means is that instead of these kids going through being tried, the juvenile diversion program actually just works with them on the side to keep them out of the court system and hopefully turn them around.
Right.
So that said, that caseload was pretty decent. But what's really disturbing is that the number of juvenile cases now the majority of them are where the kids are the victims instead of the perpetrators, meaning that they are in the system because of problems at home. Now, the jarring statistic that he provided was that last year, the county attorney's office was involved in cases where they were effective in terminating the 18 parental. There were 18 parental terminations, which is a lot because the whole point usually is to try and fix the situation and keep the families intact. Well, apparently in 18 situations,
they were not able
that was not to be the case. And so with all that said, we need more CASAs. Those are court-appointed special advocates. Those are volunteer individuals who are assigned to children to be like their advocates in these situations where the parents are either there's an effort to have their rights terminated or to reintegrate the kids back into the home. And we also need a lot more foster parents. And so those statistics were sobering, but yet at the same time, it's really impressive how many people are CASAs in York County, I would love to be one.
Yeah.
I think someday when maybe I have more time, when I'm maybe a little older and I have a little extra time, that would be something I would really want to get involved with. But we have people that somehow do. They make the time and they stick with these cases sometimes for years. So kudos to them
absolutely.
And thanks to them.
The Casa for York is actually putting on an event coming up March 29th. I know I just wrote the ad for it. So,
okay, yeah.
And it's a noir dinner mystery
dinner theater thing. Yes,
and where you are a detective, and all of this.
It sounds really neat.
It sounds super cool.
It's going to be a neat event, but then wow, look at what money you spend to participate in this.
Yes,
what it's going to do for
it's
the good.
It's going to do incredible things for kids and for in bad situations, and so highly recommend if you can't be a Casa, support Casa for York.
Yes, and I have a story about that too on the website. And Marcia Schlegel-Melch wrote a column about it too. So
nice.
Both of those are there.
Well, there we go. Perfect.
Okay,
fantastic.
Moving on to something a little lighter. A little lighter.
Sure.
Oh, this is impressive. Okay, so Lisa Hurley is our executive director of the York County Development Corporation.
Yeah, love Lisa. Oh yeah,
you love her.
Lisa. She's fantastic.
What's not to love, right?
Oh, she's amazing.
She is. And gosh, she gets a lot of stuff done.
Yeah, she does. Holy cow. It feels like she's in here like every other month with a new project or a new thing going on.
She's got something to talk about all the time.
Yeah.
Well, this time we're going to talk about her.
Fantastic. Wonderful.
We always talk about things that have happened and things that are great for York County. And this is too. But Lisa was named the 2025 president of the National Rural Economic Developers Association. Pretty big position. So,
very nice.
Which is going to bring York County will be mentioned in the forefront of a lot of national initiatives and programs. The rural developers are going to benefit from her knowledge, and at the same time, she'll be able to bring back cool ideas and things that we can do here.
Yeah.
Very deserving.
Oh, absolutely.
Very deserving.
One of the hardest working people I know.
And I'm not going to talk about my age, but I've been here for quite a while.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think this is my, 27th year of covering news in York County. And I've seen directors of the YCDC come and go over time. By far, hands down, she's the best one we ever had.
Really?
The amount of projects and things that have happened while she's been in this office have been immense. I remember when the old industrial park, the original one, was really 2 buildings. Well, it was completely full. Then they, under her working with the city, we got another industrial park that's completely full. Now she's marketing the 3rd industrial park. And this has all happened in a very short amount of time, when years ago it was hard to even get a lot sold or even get rid of the spec building out at the other. But we've had so much growth. I mean, you just look around and we see things happening, hotels being built and new convenience stores and old buildings coming down. She has a real knack of working as a partner with all kinds of different entities and bringing all the players to the table to make things happen.
Yeah, definitely. It's been really impressive coming in and seeing what the YCDC and the people who are in the City of York government and everything, they really are pushing for York to grow and expand in ways that...
Absolutely.
Yeah, in ways that other small towns just aren't. There are a lot of small towns, and not that York is a small town by any means, but, there are plenty of places that are happy to have their fair every year. They have like 1 or 2 events and then hope that whoever goes away to college comes back.
Yeah.
That's not what's happening here in York.
No,
and Lisa Hurley is a big part of that.
It is. And another, I think one thing that's always really impressed me about her versus other directors or ways of thinking, she has always been, it used to be kind of a fishing expedition. I say that like the whole goal, it seemed like, was to lure in a company from somewhere else.
Right.
And it still is. That's still
major part of it.
Still it is. But she's always focused on retention and expansion of what we have now.
Yeah.
So we're not forgetting about the businesses and the companies that are already here. She's also, we're helping them thrive. Well, yes, it's exciting to have a new and exciting business come in, and but I just love how she also focuses on, hey, let's take care of what and who we have working here now.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
Anyway, she's awesome.
100%.
Good for her. Congratulations to her, and also congratulations to York County.
Yes.
It says a lot about what we have going on.
That's for sure. 100%. There's another thing going on that is a kudos to York County, and it's this. So the Peyton Parker Lane Playground is inspiring other playgrounds around the area.
And they've been popping up around the state. York's was really the first.
Yeah.
It's certainly the largest all-inclusive playground.
Yeah.
But yes, it is. It's inspiring other communities to look at this. And now, just off to the west in Aurora, they are currently raising funds for their own. And this last week, the Upper Big Blue Natural Resource District Board approved.
That's what NRD stands for.
NRD, Natural Resource District. You didn't know what that was?
Nope. I've voiced up so many ads for Upper Big Blue NRD, and I have never once known what the NRD stands for.
Okay, an NRD. Do you know what it does?
Kinda. I mean, they've got like tree planting, and then soil conservation,
monitoring groundwater levels.
Yes,
but they also promote park projects in towns, and so this one is So they approved a $10,000 for this one. So it looks like this new park that's going to be in Aurora is going to be on city property. They have the location of being east of Highway 14 and north of Highway 34.
Okay.
I'm assuming it's kind of
know where
so it's going to be over in that park area where the park is already at, where the swimming pool, and I think that would probably mean it would be over towards the north a little bit.
I think so.
I'm not sure. But they're going to have different forms, just like Peyton Parker Lane, different forms of play to stimulate varied developmental needs. They're going to have a merry-go-round that you can put wheelchairs on.
Nice.
They'll have the all-inclusive restroom like we have here, so you can have different sizes of changing rooms for all different ages and sizes of people. And this park over in Aurora is going to honor everyday hometown heroes, including farmers, teachers, firefighters, medical professionals, and police officers.
Oh.
So that's their theme. I don't know what that's going to look like, but they're in the early stages. They're raising $1.7 million.
That's a chunk of change.
Well, Peyton Parker Lane, by the time they were said and done, I think got to be about 1.2.
Yeah.
And that was a year or two ago.
Sure.
So
makes sense.
So out of 500,000 for inflation, probably.
Sure.
So they're in the process of it now. The Crystal Houston at the NRD said that right now that project they have about 35% has been raised locally. So they're encouraging donations, of course.
100%.
So big project over to our west. So nice. I thought that'd be neat. But yes, it was inspired by Peyton Parker Lane because honestly, when that project started here with that grassroots effort, I'd never heard of such a thing.
Oh, yeah, me either.
The only people that really knew about those or the need for those are people who are raising children who have different kinds of needs. And so even exploring the one that's here, having them explain to me what these features are and what their purpose is was fascinating to me. It was really interesting. So there we go. I know.
Nice. Very nice. Happening in Aurora.
Yes.
And then big thing in York County that many people probably don't know is still a problem.
Well, yeah, apparently we don't all have high-speed internet.
Right.
I guess I just took for granted that we do.
When the reason why I know about it is because my youngest brother is a senior in high school, and for years, he and I would play Fortnite online, like online video games.
Okay.
While I was in Orlando, and he had such terrible slow internet for years, like
Really?
because they're out in Wilcox.
Oh, sure.
And I think to compare, he would have like 2.5 megabits per second. Here in York, like this radio station is like 300 megabits per second internet. Huge difference. So like he couldn't like play games and have it run correctly,
right?
Sort of thing. If you wanted to watch high quality videos online, you couldn't do it at HD. You had to do it at a lesser quality.
Well, and I guess I just took for granted that York County but there's 11 project areas in the county that are considered unserved or underserved. It's all based on the speed.
Sure.
So I say this, I wrote this story a few days ago, and then the federal grant situation came up.
Questionable at best.
Now
so
I'm
we'll
starting
see.
to think if this is federal money that's being funneled down to the state broadband office. And then the broadband office is going to be taking bids from providers here in the next month or two. Because this money, 25% of the cost of the fiber install is up to the provider. The rest of it's being paid with these federal dollars, which makes it feasible for the providers to even do the work out in the rural area.
Yeah.
Because there was a man explaining it to the county board this week. If you're going to run fiber to one house on a mile, you're never going to recoup your money.
No.
But this effort is going to help get high-speed internet out into the country.
Yeah. And it allows for it to be much more reliable internet.
Yes.
Because like there are some places where you can have high-speed internet, and I put it in air quotes because it's satellite internet. And so if there's too much cloud coverage, if something happens...
It's dependent on different factors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas a fiber line is pretty solid.
And we already have two projects. One was recently completed out by Sachs Lake. And then there's another one that's going to be starting over kind of by Lushton. And the county is actually participating financially in that one.
Gotcha.
So now this next round of different providers using federal dollars, I think.
Again, questionable, but we'll see.
As we were talking, I thought, oh, I wonder if this is contingent on all these federal grant reviews, but that's the plan so far.
That's the plan as it stands now.
So if you're out in rural York County and you have terrible internet or none,
guess what?
in the next few months, you will have an option.
Fingers crossed.
We think.
It could be or couldn't be. Who knows?
It was good news 3 days ago. Now I don't know. So
no, it's like,
don't listen to me. I don't know what to say about that. I could be completely wrong. Everything could have changed.
But here's the deal. If anything does change, you'll be the person to know.
I will.
That's right.
I'll
You
let
can
you
go
know.
to justmelaniew.com
Thank
for
you.
all of the updates.
That's what we'll do.
Perfect.
All right.
Melanie, thanks so much.
Hey, have a good week.
You too.